Good morning to you. Time right now is 6:30 on this Friday, heading into what is expected to be a very busy weekend. We're going to get to tourism numbers in just a minute, but I was out buzzing around yesterday on the boardwalk, and everybody was so excited about the weather.
Yeah, a lot of people here, and beautiful, absolutely gorgeous weather out there.
Something to take advantage of, I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
August has been the deadliest month for U.S. forces in Afghanistan since the conflict began nearly a decade ago. There were 66 troop deaths this month. Nearly half of the month's American deaths came from an insurgent attack on a helicopter, which left 30 dead. Some 10,000 U.S. troops are scheduled to leave Afghanistan by the end of this year. Now, no U.S. troops were killed in Iraq during the month of August. That's a first since the U.S. invasion on the country in 2003. A total of 4,464 American troops have died in Iraq, including 56 killed after the U.S. declared an end of combat operations about a year ago. For the first time in its history, Arlington National Cemetery may soon have an accurate record of all of the people that are buried there. The project involves the creation of a digital database using photos and a smartphone app. The computer system cross-checks headstone information with records from as far back as the 1800s. Arlington was tarnished last year following the discovery of more than 200 misidentified or mislabeled graves that led to the punishment of a former superintendent. Congress ordered a task force to document who's buried at the site. White House officials want your feedback. They've announced a new online feature that allows you to create and sign petitions. If your petition gets enough signatures, White House staffers will review it, send it to the appropriate policy experts, and issue an official response. In order to get the petition recognized, you'll need 5,000 signatures within 30 days. You'll be able to submit petitions later this month. You can go to whitehouse.gov and create an account. Pretty nifty there. Time right now is 6:54. We'll send it over to Darren. He's in the First Alert Weather Center with a check of your beautiful forecast. Good morning. All right, thanks, Alex. A fire that destroyed a Myrtle Beach home early this morning is under investigation.
Horry County Fire Rescue responded to the fire just after 1 o'clock. It happened at 5010 Watergate Drive in the neighborhood behind Socastee Boulevard and Highway 17. The homeowner was there when the fire started, but was able to escape without any injury. Firefighters say the back of the home had extensive damage. One neighbor says the fire is a lot of excitement for what is typically a quiet street.
Got out the door, I saw all these fire trucks and everything, ambulance and everything down this way. And this never happens out here.
The homeowner escaped with 2 of her 3 dogs. Firefighters searched for the other one for more than an hour. Guess what? It was found. Good news there. We will let you know when investigators determine a cause on your website, carolinalive.com. Numbers are looking pretty good for tourism on the Grand Strand over the Labor Day weekend.
According to CCU's Center for Resort Tourism, hotel occupancy will be above 80% tonight and will top 90% for Saturday and Sunday. Tourism leaders hope the good weekend will help the area recover from last weekend's losses caused by Hurricane Irene. The manager of Capri Court Hotel says his property will be fully occupied this weekend, but it still won't make up for what he had lost last weekend.
I think it's going to impact Labor Day in the sense that more people are going to be trying to come because, you know, we had probably 40 reservations that weren't able to come because they were scared of the storm.
Anderson says it's been a good summer for his hotel, though he's had to discount his rates to bring people in.
The south end of the Grand Strand is seeing a lift in tourism. CCU shows occupancy rates for Georgetown County this summer are up 2%. With a slow economy, the Georgetown Chamber attributes its Hammock Coast campaign for the rise in numbers. One Georgetown real estate agent says the rate increased because of the area's niche market that gives people a completely different experience than that of Myrtle Beach.
It's a great lifestyle. People come here. The people came here from the Gulf had never been here, loved it, and you know, of course, some of them returned, even though it's further.
Miller also says more people are coming to their area because of the fewer crowds at the beach. You can call it agriculture shock. Hurricane Irene couldn't have happened at a worse time for many farmers. Crops are still underwater from North Carolina to the Canadian border. And we still don't know how much the damage will cost farmers or all of us down the line. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack says he's seen the devastation himself.
Well, I had an opportunity to take a look at fields in North Carolina. I've never seen anything like it. The corn was just totally destroyed. Tobacco hit hard. Cotton hit hard. We're still going to wait and see how it affects the soybeans. And as you mentioned, tomatoes and some of the vegetables that are underground, we won't know for a while what the impact will be. But it's very clear that farmers in North Carolina, Virginia, along the East Coast have suffered pretty significant losses.
Vilsack says it's unlikely you'll see higher prices at the grocery store because the United States has diverse crops and lots of acreage.
The North Carolina Department of Transportation is scrambling to recover from Hurricane Irene. Specifically, they're trying to reestablish transportation on Hatteras Island. The storm cut 2 swaths through Highway 12, the major road that goes through the island. Officials are trying to come up with both a temporary fix and a permanent solution. Engineering experts say it's a huge challenge to build on constantly shifting sand. And the White House is telling Congress that there's a need for more than $5 billion in additional disaster relief, and that's not even including the billions of dollars more that it will need to help the states hit hard by Hurricane Irene. The administration also says that under the terms of last month's budget deal, Congress can provide more than $11 billion in disaster aid next year without offsetting budget cuts. The budget pact contains a little noticed provision providing flexibility in disaster spending. Many lawmakers were unaware of the disaster aid provision when voting for the budget pact last month.
An exhibit at Coastal Carolina University is showcasing the work of artists who survived Hurricane Katrina 6 years ago. About 50 people contributed to this wall installation made up of clear Ziploc bags. Each bag contains images, objects, and texts. The wall is about coming to terms with what's been lost on a personal and regional scale. Another piece represents the flooded home of one artist's grandmother.
The photographs that I used in this installation were all my family pictures that I just kind of couldn't let go and kind of held on to and hoped that they would dry out, and I would kind of sift through them and transfer them to another album.
If you're interested in seeing the exhibit, it runs until October 7th at the Rebecca Bryan Gallery. That's at CCU.
A man has been arrested for shooting his brother. Georgetown County deputies charged 51-year-old Odell Kennedy with attempted murder. They say Kennedy shot his brother while his brother was driving away on Dayhu Lake Road about 8 o'clock Wednesday night. The brother who was shot crashed into Lambertown community. He was taken to the Medical University of South Carolina. And Myrtle Beach police say a man arrested for an armed robbery in Murrells Inlet is a suspect in another case. Georgetown County deputies arrested William June Tuesday for robbing a store on the corner of Highway 707 and Highway 17 bypass. They say he's also responsible for the armed robbery at Gully's store on North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach. He's being held at the Georgetown County Detention Center.
The man accused of killing a University of South Carolina professor he once dated will stay in jail. 37-year-old Hank Haas didn't appear in court yesterday to request bond. Haas was arrested Monday after trying to kill himself. That was a day after his 36-year-old ex-girlfriend's body was found in her home. Prosecutors say Haas called someone and confessed to the homicide. Jennifer Wilson was stabbed several times.
She did say that he was aggressive, and she did say that she had broken it off twice. And in fact, when I spoke with her on Friday, she said that she was going to let him know that it was over.
Wilson was an education professor and a Fulbright scholar who worked with children and teachers both in Columbia and overseas.
A person was hit by a car trying to walk across Highway 501 last night. It happened at the intersection of 501 and 4 Mile Road. We're told by witnesses on the scene that a person was hit by a minivan. That person has been taken to the hospital. One beachbound lane had to be closed while police investigated the scene. There is no word on any other injuries.
A woman was arrested after a horse in her care was found about 400 pounds underweight. Horry County Police charged Heather Martin with ill treatment of animals. The horse was found lying on its side, not able to stand on its feet. Police say Martin was watching the horse while her brother-in-law was out of town. The horse did have to be euthanized. A judge has ruled that the pollution contamination lawsuit against a Myrtle Beach company can be a class action suit. The judge says as many as 229 property owners near the AVX Corporation on 17th Avenue South in Myrtle Beach can join this suit. AVX is accused of contaminating the groundwater with an industrial degreaser called TCE that's been linked to health problems. TCE was used in the 1970s and 80s.
Next on Good Morning Carolinas on News Channel 15.
Great, 86 to 87. We'll all be there. I'll be there tomorrow morning from 10 to 12. Holly, you'll be there tomorrow as well.
11 to 1.
1 to 3.
There you go.
Figured it out.
So you come by our booth and say hi if you're around the Market Common at those points.
Sure, we'll have a few goodies.
And it's free. That's the best part of it.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Darren. Time right now, 6:46 on this Friday. They were Gator Wrangling. Did I say it right?
Wrangling, that's
All right.
right.
He's been teaching me how to say it a little better in Pawleys Island.
That's right, or at least learning how to. The South Carolina Department of Natural Resources hosted an alligator hunting seminar at Pawleys Island outdoors. Those who came out learned from one of the state's best alligator hunters.
I've killed the biggest alligator that's ever been caught in the state of South Carolina. He was 14 foot long, weighed 1,000 pounds. I'll tell you how big he was when I took him to the sale in Florida. He was the second largest alligator they'd ever seen.
Ay, ay, ay. In South Carolina, alligator hunting season is open from September 10th, which is next Saturday, through October 8th. Since the weather looks pretty good this weekend, as Darren just mentioned, you may want to check out the Beach Boogie and Barbecue Festival in Myrtle Beach.
Food is the main attraction at the annual event, and that's going to draw at least us there, right? It kicks off at 5:30 tonight and runs through the weekend at the Market Common. Barbecue Championship is from 8 to 11 a.m. Saturday. There's also a beer and wine garden, plus craft vendors, and last but not least, fireworks.
I'm glad you're judging that. You're going to be full. I did it the first year,
I'm
but it's
excited.
a great
Empty
experience.
stomach, I'm going there.
On to entertainment news. A famous rock star finally ties the knot after almost 30 years. What a lady. And Mark Anthony talks about his love for J-Lo.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's your Showbiz Wrap.
He did pull.
After